Hello and welcome to quiz class. I'm your host, Ellen, and today we have 100 questions, general knowledge. Today we have a mix of fun, facts, and maybe a few curveballs. Let's take a look at our quiz class awards. Let us know how you rank in the comments at the end, along with the answer to the bonus question. So let's jump right in. What three sports dominated America in the 1980s? Baseball, basketball, football, soccer, golfing, boxing, or hockey, tennis, cycling? Baseball, basketball, and football. What problems hurt American sports during the 1980s? Stadium closures, lawsuits and labor disputes, or bad weather? Lawsuits and labor disputes. Who struggled for power in baseball during the 1980s? Coaches and referees, owners and players union, or fans and ticket sellers? Owners and players union. What was John McEnroe known for besides his skill? His shy personality, his coarse behavior, or his silent attitude? His coarse behavior. Who became the first American to win the Tour de France? Greg LeMond, Lance Armstrong, or Steve Bauer? Greg LeMond. In which year did Greg LeMond win his title? 1999, 1986, or 1970? (1986). Which director made The Breakfast Club and Ferris Bueller's Day Off? Steven Spielberg, John Hughes, or Francis Ford Coppola? John Hughes. Over 125,000 refugees fled from which country to Florida in 1980? Cuba, Haiti, or Dominican Republic? Cuba. Mount St. Helens erupted in which U.S. state? California, Washington, or Oregon? Washington. Donut holes are also called what? Munchkins, cupcakes, or Timbits? Munchkins. Better cheddars are a type of what snack? Cracker, candy, or cereal? Cracker. Swiss rolls are made by which brand? Little Debbie, Hostess, or Oreo? Little Debbie. What sport was almost abandoned by fans in the 1970s? Tennis, football, or basketball? Basketball. Which two stars revived basketball in the 1980s? Michael Jordan and Joe Montana, Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, or Wayne Gretzky and Jack Nicklaus? Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Who was the legendary quarterback for the 49ers? Tom Brady, Joe Montana, or Dan Marino? Joe Montana. What was Joe Montana famous for showing? His steely determination, his loud arrogance, or his reckless speed? Steely determination. Who proved age didn't stop him in golf? Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus, or Greg Norman? Jack Nicklaus. Who dominated professional hockey during the 1980s? Mario Lemieux, Wayne Gretzky, or Bobby Orr? Wayne Gretzky. Who ruled tennis early in the 1980s? John McEnroe, Pete Sampras, or Boris Becker? John McEnroe. Which hockey team amazed America in 1980 Olympics? Canada's team, U.S. men's team, or the Soviet Union team? U.S. men's team. Who shone in speed skating during 1980s Olympics? Carl Lewis, Eric Hayden, or Bonnie Blair? Eric Hayden. Which track star inspired America in the 1980s? Carl Lewis, Michael Jordan, or Wayne Gretzky? Carl Lewis. Which female skater destroyed myths at the 1980 Olympics? Bonnie Blair, Florence Joyner, or Mary Lou Retton? Bonnie Blair. Who amazed fans in gymnastics during the 1980s? Florence Joyner, Serena Williams, or Mary Lou Retton? Mary Lou Retton. Who became track queen with stylish speed in the 1980s? Jackie Joyner-Kersee, Florence Griffith Joyner, or Bonnie Blair? Florence Griffith Joyner. What did female athletes prove at the 1980 Olympics? Women couldn't compete, female athletic inferiority was false, or men were still stronger? Female athletic inferiority was false. What saved football despite strikes in the 1980s? Team owners' speeches, players' field accomplishments, or fans' protests? Players' field accomplishments. What happened to American sports popularity in the 1980s? It declined badly, It grew to huge heights, or it disappeared completely. It grew to huge heights. Which company invented disposable camera in 1986? Canon, Fujifilm, or Kodak? Fujifilm. What industry loved the disposable cameras the most? Tourism industry, the film industry, or sports industry? Tourism industry. What eventually reduced popularity of disposable cameras? Digital photography, expensive film rolls, or lack of flash? Digital photography. What advantage did disposable contacts bring users? Longer wear, no cleaning needed, or cheaper glasses? No cleaning needed. Who researched nicotine's addictive effects in the 60s and 70s? Dr. Murray Jarvik, William DeFries, or Alec Jeffreys? Dr. Murray Jarvik. When did nicotine patches reach store shelves? 1980, 1992, or 2000? 1992. What type of drug is Prozac? A painkiller, an antidepressant, or an antibiotic? An antidepressant. Which two disorders Prozac became known to treat? Which two disorders did Prozac become known to treat? Depression and OCD, depression and flu, or diabetes and obesity? Depression and OCD. What problem happened during Columbia's first launch? Engine failed, tiles broke off, or an astronaut was injured? Tiles broke off. What chip powered IBM's 5150 personal computer? Intel 8088, Android, or AMD 64? Intel 8088. What operating system did IBM 5150 run on? PC-DOS 1.0, Windows 1.0, or Unix? PC-DOS 1.0. What year did Apple launch Macintosh computer? 1996, 1984, or 2001? 1984. What unique feature did Macintosh introduce widely? Touchscreen, graphic user interface, or voice commands? Graphic user interface. What device did Macintosh make popular for consumers? Mouse, joystick, or scanner? Mouse. What did compact discs replace in music storage? Vinyl and cassettes, USB drives, or cloud storage? Vinyl and cassettes. What does CNN stand for? Current News Now, Central News Network, or Cable News Network? Cable News Network. Borg versus McEnroe at Wimbledon was nicknamed what? Fire and Ice, Ice and Storm, or Heat and Chill? Fire and Ice. Sebastian Coe won Olympic gold in which event in 1980? The 100 meter, 1,500 meter, or marathon? (1,500 meters). What arcade game debuted in 1980? Pac-Man, Contra, or Donkey Kong? Pac-Man. How many American hostages were held in Iran for 444 days? 10, 100, or 52? (52). Which TV finale drew 125 million viewers in 1983? Cheers, MASH, or Dallas? MASH. We are at question 50. We are halfway through. Bob Marley passed away in 1981 from what illness? Heart disease, cancer, or stroke? Cancer. Which rap group's album got one of the first parental advisory labels? Run DMC, Public Enemy, or NWA? NWA. A blackout in 1981 shut down which U.S. city? Chicago, New York City, or Boston? New York City. Which duo reunited in Central Park in 1981? Simon and Garfunkel, Hall & Oates, or Elton John and Billy Joel? Simon and Garfunkel. Bobby Sands was a member of which group? The IRA, the ETA, or the PLO? The IRA. Tom Cruise danced in underwear in which 1983 film? Top Gun, Risky Business, or Cocktail? Risky Business. Which decade is known for big hair and glam metal? The 70s, the 80s, or the 90s? The 80s. Which refugee camp massacre shocked the world in 1982? Sabra and Shatila, Jenin, or Rafah? Sabra and Shatila. What was the first album released on CD in 1982? Vogue, 52nd Street, or Born in the USA? 52nd Street. Which British Prime Minister released the 1983 Conservative Manifesto? Winston Churchill, Margaret Thatcher, or Tony Blair? Margaret Thatcher. A famine struck which African country in 1984? Ethiopia, Malta, or Sudan? Ethiopia. Which city hosted the 1984 Winter Olympics? Sarajevo, Miami, or Innsbruck? Sarajevo. Which pop star wore a glittery white glove on tour in 1984? Prince, Michael Jackson, or David Bowie? Michael Jackson. Who was crowned Miss America in 1984 but then resigned? Suzette Charles, Vanessa Williams, or Halle Berry? Vanessa Williams. Who was the first woman vice president candidate on a major U.S. ticket? Kamala Harris, Geraldine Ferrero, or Hillary Clinton? Geraldine Ferrero. The famous Afghan girl photo appeared in which magazine? Life, National Geographic, or Time? National Geographic. The Dallas Cliffhanger asked, who shot Bobby, who shot JR, or who shot Sue Ellen? Who shot JR? We Are the World raised money for famine where? Africa, Asia, or Australia? Africa. Which wrestler co-hosted SNL with Mr. T in 1985? Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, or Ric Flair? Hulk Hogan. Sri Lanka is in which ocean? The Atlantic, the Indian, or the Pacific? The Indian Ocean. Moorea is close to which island? Fiji, Tahiti, or Samoa? Tahiti. What spirit is Hawaii famous for? Aloha, mahalo, or ohana? Aloha. Waikiki Beach is on which island? Maui, Oahu, or Kauai? Oahu. New Caledonia has the world's largest what? Lagoon, reef, or river? Lagoon. What is Zanzibar's old town called? Coral Town, Stone Town, or Old Town? Stone Town. Which Thai island is called the Maldives of Thailand? Koh Tao, Koh Lipe, or Koh Samui? Koh Lipe. The croissant is linked to which country? France, Italy, or Spain? France. The baguette is a type of what? Cake, bread, or pastry? Bread. Which bread is flat and round? Roti, donut, or baguette? Roti. Challah is often covered with what? Napkin, plate, or basket? Napkin. What type of bread has become popular in recent years? Flatbread, whole wheat, or sourdough? Sourdough. Roti is usually eaten with what? Ice cream, vegetables and meat, or soup? Vegetables and meat. Naan is different from roti because it is thicker, thinner, or sweeter. Thicker. Which European country colonized Brazil? Spain, Portugal, or France? Portugal. Which factor determines survival of organisms? Environment, dreams, or luck? Environment. What layer of air surrounds Earth? The hydrosphere, atmosphere, or lithosphere? The atmosphere. What studies Earth's past changes? Astrology, geochronology, or meteorology? Geochronology. What is ecology the study of? Organisms and environment, stars and planets, or renewables? Organisms and environment. Ecology comes from the Greek word meaning household, stones, or river. Household. Who was Plato's teacher? Socrates, Aristotle, or Descartes? Socrates. Who is often the main speaker in Plato's works? Socrates, Plato, or Aristotle? Socrates. Aristotle was the tutor to which famous ruler? Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, or Nero? Alexander the Great. Which philosopher said, "If I am mistaken, I am"? Plato, Aquinas, or Augustine? Augustine. What kind of candy are Mike and Ike's? Jelly snacks, chocolate bars, or hard mints? Jelly snacks. Popcorners are a mix of what two snacks? Potato chips and kettle corn, pretzels and popcorn, or crackers and chips? Potato chips and kettle corn. Newtons are filled with what? Fruit, chocolate, or cream? Fruit. Vero mango lollipops are coated with what? Chili, sugar, or chocolate? Chili. Seaweed snacks are usually described as what? Salty and crunchy, sweet and chewy, or sour and soft? Salty and crunchy. Honey-made grahams are key for making what treat? S'mores, ice cream, or donuts? S'mores. Utz cheese balls are famous for being what color? Orange, green, or purple? Orange. And question 100. Who coined the word utopia? Thomas More, Jim Carrey, or Francis Bacon? Thomas More. And for our bonus question, which popular TV show ended with the line, "Sorry, we're closed"? Let us know the answer in the comments, and of course, how well you did with our Quiz Class Einstein rewards. Thanks for playing. We hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.